Hey, good morning, everybody, on this Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right? Wednesday. Yes, it says that. Wednesday, January 25th. I'm Chris Allen here on the Sam channel, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace. Well, we've had some rain around the area over the last little bit since overnight last night. Still looking at some rain this morning on the radar. It is all rain for the most part until you get on up into places like Carbondale, Illinois. And again, it's right there along the Ohio River, where I mentioned yesterday in this podcast that anything south of the Ohio River is mostly going to be rain. That's all the green that you see there, and anything primarily north of the Ohio River and the Wabash River is going to be in the form of snow. Now, some places in southern Illinois and Indiana and just north of Louisville, even up around Louisville, picked up some snow overnight. And now that warmer air is going a little bit further north. There's still a bit of a fetch here at the surface of a more kind of a southwest flow until the low pressure system, which is back here, uh, mostly to the west of us, once it passes by and goes north, it's kind of following the Ohio River. Then we'll start to get some of that backlash moisture back behind it. More so tonight and tomorrow, and any leftover moisture then could be in the form of some light snow or snow flurries or snow showers for the day tomorrow. But for now, everything is rain, and it's mostly light rain. There's not a lot of rain falling where it is raining, and most of us will pick up maybe a tenth of an inch to a quarter inch based on where you are. Overnight, there were some little bit higher amounts of rain. So we'll check that out here in just a minute with the mesonet. Let's take a look at the 10-day model blender as everything is put into the blender, and here is the result. We're looking at still a fairly mild day ahead until that low pressure system gets out of our area. So 50 to 52 is doable for us as that warm air, as I mentioned, coming in from the southwest is here with us today. But by tonight, we do start to get that colder air back behind the wraparound moisture behind the low, and we fall off into the 30s, right about freezing. So that's why I mentioned any leftover moisture tonight possibly will mix with or change over to a little bit of light snow or snow flurries. Again, I'm not looking for any big deal around here, maybe just a trace in some areas, as we only get up to the mid 30s tomorrow. And tomorrow, there's going to be a stiff west wind that's going to be rather breezy. It's actually going to be breezy today as that low pressure system passes just to our northwest. So you'll be able to feel that cooler wind gradually coming in. It'll start to be southwest, then go west, and then eventually it's going to go northwest as that low pressure system passes on by. That's what's going to make us colder for Thursday. So kind of a raw, stiff day on Thursday, but then we jump right back to where we should be this time of the year, upper 40s, mid to upper 40s on Friday. The weekend actually looks rather mild. You see some 50s there, even mid 50s. Then we reset a little bit, go back into the mid to upper 40s for the beginning of next week, but the final few days of January. And here we go into February, as you can see, colder. We're going to start February colder with temperatures, the highs only in the 30s, lows dipping down into the 20s. And yes, there are going to be some opportunities for some precipitation during that time. All right, let's take a look at Kentucky Mesonet this morning and see what is shaking out there with temperatures and rainfall. I'll start with temperatures. And as you can see there, we've got 30s, mid 30s off to the northeast of us. And this is way ahead of the low pressure system. South of the low and south of that storm system, there's that warmer air. We're all in the 40s this morning, 42 here in Bowling Green as of a little bit after 5 a.m. as I record this podcast. And the colder air is going to wait. It's going to be until that low pressure system comes completely through the area. We're not going to have to deal with any cold temperatures just yet. What about rainfall? As I mentioned, 2/10 of an inch here in Bowling Green, a quarter inch in Butler County, 3/10 of an inch in looks like Logan County, about that much over in Metcalfe County, 3/10 down in Allen County. Most everybody around a quarter of an inch to 3/10 of an inch. The heaviest rains are back here into western Kentucky, seeing some half inch, 3/4, and even 1 inch amounts right there. Again, on the Ohio River or the confluence of the Ohio Mississippi rivers. That's where the heaviest rainfall has occurred over the past 24 hours. Okay, going to show you something new. As I've mentioned about, I don't know, 5 days ago, 6 days ago, I'm experimenting not only with a new camera and new lighting. I'm getting that pretty well balanced now. I think most everybody is likes the look, but I'm also experimenting with some new maps, and they look different. But these are maps that are more integrated and more engaging, in my opinion. I'm going to leave it up to you. They show you the same thing, they just look different. So here we go. They're more descriptive in my mind, and they move. They have a lot of movement. Now I can tell as soon as I loaded this, my movement gets a little herky jerky. So this may not work out. So this is an experiment. If my audio and video starts to get real choppy, like it did when I was using a different radar the other day, I stopped using that one, going to other sources to try them out. But I like the way this looks. This is a temperature map, and it shows not only the low pressure system and it shows where we are, but you can see the tiny little lines that are moving. That is the winds. See how the winds are going? This is the low pressure system over northwestern Tennessee. And you can see how the winds are drawing in from the northeast and wrapping around that low pressure system. Here's Bowling Green. There's Nashville, Louisville. So I can look at this and be able to put this into motion and show you how through the day this is going to move through. There it goes. And you can even see the temperatures changing as we continue through the day. So here we go into the afternoon. This is about noontime, mid 40s, into the 30s later this afternoon, 2 to 3 o'clock. Here is 6 o'clock this evening. Notice how the lines, the winds begin to change more westerly. This is what I was talking about earlier. And back here in Missouri, yeah, this is the colder air. You see the blue. This is not precipitation. This is temperatures. So here we go into 6 o'clock this evening, and the winds are still howling. Notice all the tight lines here. Those are those isobars that I've showed you before, but it not on a color map or not necessarily like this. It's been more black and whitish, but this gives you the colors of the temperature. There's the colder temperatures, and then it gives you these little particles that show you the direction and the movement of the wind. I like that. But it may cause some choppiness in the video, so we'll see. I'll have to wait and get through this and see what happens. But here we are at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, and that's when it's going to start to feel colder. Notice in Bowling Green, the temperatures are a bit colder. Let me zoom in a little bit more. And you can see there's 35 for us in Glasgow, Edmonton at 35, Morgantown at 35. Here comes some lower 30s back toward Hopkinsville. This is at 5 a.m. You can see the timeline down here. 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. So let's move it ahead a little bit more. And during the day tomorrow, see, this is 9 o'clock. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be sitting at about 34 with the winds coming in from the west, breezy at 15 to 20. And any leftover moisture, I think, with that temperature like that, and look at that, 32 by 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon with a stiff breeze from the west. And yes, these are all temperatures that are going to be cold enough for some snow to fall in certain areas. So that's why I'm saying we could be looking at the possibility of some snow showers as we get into that time period. Let's check that out. I can do that with another different look. This is the predictive radar. This is what I call the future radar. And I've got it set to precipitation type. And so here we are right now with the low pressure system over western Tennessee. Blue is rain, purple is freezing rain, and then all of this in the kind of grayish white, all of that is snow. So let's go through the same time period, and let's go through today. And here we go, 7, 8, 9. The low moves up to Cincinnati. 10, 11, noon. The winds are still kind of howling. Now we get a break a little bit, but notice even by 5 o'clock this evening, it's trying to paint in maybe some snow flurries mixed in with some of that rain. Let's go closer. So here's Bowling Green, E-Town, Louisville, Nashville. Okay. Here we go after 5, 6, 7, 9, jumping ahead a little. Oh, wait a minute. Let's back that up, which I can do. Look at this. So here's about midnight, 1 a.m. is what it says right here on the timeline. So we have a temperature of 37. Colder air is coming in. As you can see, the little particles are saying the winds are coming in from the west. And there we go. This is when the transition should begin. Now, it's not going to be, again, a lot of snow is just going to blow around. Tomorrow morning, here is 4 a.m. with snow showers or flurries, 35 here in Bowling Green. And we continue to go through the morning, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 10, 11, noon. A lot of this will be moving east and out of our area by 7 a.m. Friday morning, which is what we're looking at right here. And you can see the particles then are coming up from the south. That's a change in the wind that is going to come on Friday and warm us back into the mid 40s, even though we'll start out about 28 or so, mid to upper 20s Friday morning. There could be a little light dusting of snow up to the north of us. Here in the Bowling Green area, it's very questionable how much snow we'll get out of this. I don't think it's going to be any big deal. It would be less than a trace, I would say, for the most part. It's just not one of those systems that's going to dump snow. You'll see snow, but it's not going to materialize into anything that's going to be impactful. All right. Here's a look at the maps, which you're used to seeing. And here again, low pressure system coming through with that cornucopia of precipitation. North of us, some heavier snows once you get in, again, north of the Ohio River. Anything south of the Ohio River, if you see something, it's just going to be flurries. Pretty much it. The rains will move out. Here we go into this afternoon, this evening, and here comes the colder air, and the winds will start that shift to the west and northwest. And then the colder air takes over tomorrow. That's when we'll see some sprinkles, light rain mixed with snow flurries and snow showers through the day tomorrow. As you can see, there's just It's just that that system begins to move up into the New England states, and we're just on the backside of it with some leftovers, pretty much leftovers. So that means you're not going to get much. Here we go into Friday. Everything's looking pretty good. Here's a new storm system dropping out of the Rockies. A cold front coming in. This is Saturday, midday. And then as we get into Sunday, here comes the next chance of rain. Again, double systems, another one to the south with maybe more potential severe weather along the Gulf Coast, as we saw yesterday, damage in Texas, Deer Park, Texas, parts of Louisiana, significant tornado damage there yesterday. And they could deal with this again in the same locations on Sunday, while we're just dealing with some light to moderate rain as that system comes in. And then on Monday, it all falls apart and cooler air takes over. You know the drill here. It's the same thing over and over again. There's not a whole lot of change pattern wise that I'm seeing at all with any of these systems that are coming in here. They all look very similar and will produce pretty much the same effect that we have seen in the last few days. Okay, that'll do it for this edition of the Sam Channel podcast for this Wednesday morning. Again, I'll look back, review, look at your comments and see how this thing, what you think about some of the newer looking maps. And if there's a lot of problems with it or whatever, then I'll fix it. I'll adjust. I'll keep adjusting, but still bringing you the information that you need. Okay. In the meantime, I'm headed to the radio station, Sam 100.7, for the morning show, 6 to 10. God bless you. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the radio.